I'm holding the camera, so that's 5 people. There you go.
Alright, May 23rd. Chances are this date means absolutely nothing to you. It shouldn't. For me, that's my birthday. And that's pretty important when it comes down to my existence now. Throughout history, this day has been pretty important for some people, marking deaths, battles for independence, and things such as entertainment. So let's take a look back in history to see what we can see. Alright, so let's start the years 1430. There's a little thing called the 100 Years of War going on, and a young woman by the name of Joan of Arc has risen to a point of leadership. Now, May 23rd of 1430, she is captured, sold to the English, and then executed 7 days later. Now, let's move a little bit forward in history to the 80 Years of War. It's a little bit lesser known, and for those of you who don't know, it took place between Spain and Dutch rebels. Now, on May 23rd, the Dutch rebels received their first victory at the Battle of Hittergally, with nearly 2,000 Spanish casualties and not that many on the Dutch side. Now, let's go a little bit farther in history, about 200 years in advance, and at this period, it's known as the Golden Age of Piracy. If you don't know what that is, that's when pirates were just running rampant through the Caribbean, and this caused many issues for the colonies and the European empires that were influencing these colonies. And one man by the name of Captain Kidd, you might know him as William Kidd, was a very notorious pirate. On May 23rd of 1701, he is captured and hanged. Now, so far we've been focusing on troubled things that have happened in Europe. In the future we have something called World War II. I'm sure you've all heard of it. And there is a man who goes by the name Heinrich Himmler, but you might know him a little bit better as Hitler's right-hand man. Eventually, he was captured and then committed suicide in prison on May 23rd. Now, we've been a little morbid with the beginning of the speech, so we're going to move to the lighter side of things, which comes down to independence. I'm sure you've all heard of the Boston Tea Party. Yes, all right, this is correct. All right, a few months after that, in the town of Chesterton, Maryland, people were so influenced by this, they held a tea party of their own, known as the Chesterton Tea Party. So in 1774, May 23rd, the locals of Chesterton took all the tea and dumped it into the local river. This meant so much to the people that you today can still drive to Chestertown, Maryland, fly, however you want to get there, and partake in their annual reenactment from the dates May 22nd to May 25th. Now, when it comes down to American independence, we have many people who played key roles. One man, Benjamin Franklin, he did many great things, one of which was inventing things. One notable one would be bifolding. I'm sure everyone's heard of him. May 23rd of 1785, he announced this invention to the world, and everyone was amazed by it. Now, a little bit south of the border, a few years later, we have Buenos Aires, and they fought, and they gained their independence from Argentina, but they were later reunited, so it doesn't really matter that much. But as time went on, things got easier, and people had more time for leisure activities. And in 1883, there was a baseball game held on May 23rd that took place between one-armed and one-legged players. Now we're going to jump a little bit farther into the future to 1922. There's a man by the name of Walter Disney who founded Laugh-O-Gram Studios in Kansas City, Missouri. Now, it was at this time of Laugh-O-Gram Studios that Walt Disney received the inspiration for the character Mickey Mouse. Another thing that I thought was neat that happened on May 23rd, it was interesting enough for me to include in my speech. It was 1988. A man by the name of Colin Wilson surfed continually for 294 miles. I'm no expert, but this seems relatively impressive. So, we've seen a lot of important things, interesting things happen on May 23rd. I hope for you guys it's more than just a date now. Because I know for me, I don't see it as just my birthday anymore. I see it as a historical marker for significant deaths, inventions, and one of the most iconic names in all of entertainment. So why don't you guys keep your heads up for the next time May 23rd rolls around, because it just might be important for not only you, but all of humanity. Thank you.